Hello guys, you're welcome to my video on data analysis. My name is Mo John. I am a data analyst, and in this video I will be showing you how you can actually analyze your data using the Microsoft SQL query language to be able to analyze your data. Now here is the Microsoft SQL language workbench, and on the left hand side we have our databases. Here is our databases. When you click on this plus sign, it will show you the list of data in these databases. So the data that we're going to be working on is patch and posse. You can see it over here. It's patch and posse database. So let's click on the plus sign and we'll see the tables on that database. Right down here, we'll see the account tables, the order tables, the region table, the cell reps, and the web event. So we have 5 tables in this database. Okay, so to have a view of these tables, we are going to write a code that will bring those tables as an output. So let's write the code. Select wildcards from orders. When we highlight and then we click on execute, it will show us the table, or you can click on F5 and the result will show. Okay, we had an error there. Okay, it's because we didn't, you have to set here which data are you using. So we did not select the data, so let's select patch and posse and go back to run it. Okay, there we have. Then we have our table here, the order table. In the order table, we have a column called ID, and we have the account ID, we have the occurred arts, we have the peso ceilings, Egyptian ceiling, POP ceiling, total, and the rest. Okay, so if you want to also do the same to account table, we say select wildcards from accounts. When we highlight and run and execute it, it now gives us our account table. The account table, we have the ID column, the name, the website, the longitude, the primary for cell rep ID. Okay, so we're going to do same for other region tables, cell reps, and web events. So that's the region table. We have the ID and the names. Okay, that's the sales rep table. We have the ID, the name, and the region ID. Let's look at the last table, which is the web event. Wildcard from web events. Okay, let's run it and we see what we got. Okay, that's it. So in the web event, we have the ID, the account ID, we have the occurred hour, the time in which it happens, and the channels. Okay, so now if you want to view all the table at once, you want it to run all the table at once, you are going to highlight all of them. You want the table to be joined and we run it. So now we see the list of those tables, the orders, the accounts. We have all of them over here. Okay, see the list of those tables over here. Okay, so that is it. Now we're going to solve some data analysis questions now. So let us write a query that will show the total sales for 2015. Okay, this is a note. This is not a code, so it's a comment. So we are going to put two dash, and you see, you notice when I put the two dash, it gave me green. It colored that line green. It shows that that's a comment that I'm making. So let's try to answer this question. To answer this question, we have to start with select date part. That's the date function. Date part is a date function. Bracket open, the year minus occur at. And we close the bracket. We call that column year, comma, the aggregate function sum, because we are looking for the total amount of those products sold. So we use an aggregate function called sum. Total amount USD. Close the bracket, and we name it as total sales. That is the alias. Alias is when you are renaming a column. So total sales is the alias. Now we want to bring out the year and the total amount used from from which table? From our orders table. Where now we want to find a location where we're looking for this data, this information. So we are looking for this information in the year 2015. We have this data contain information for 2014, 2015, 2016, or as well 2013. So we are actually looking for the total sales in 2015. To do that, we have to specify where we are looking, where are we going to bring out our information from. So we say where date part, that's the date function, yy minus comma, sorry, accord at, close the bracket, is equal to 2015. That's the year where we want to draw out our information from. Then we are going to group these columns by date part. We're going to group it by this date part year, this date function called year. So we copy it and then we'll paste it here. Okay. So we cannot include an aggregate function sum in the group by. So you have to note that we are not supposed to include the aggregate function in the group by. So if we run this problem, this code, we are going to get the information. It's giving us an error. So let's Find out what's the problem, then we fix it. Okay, we're not supposed to include the alias here. So let's run it. Now here is our total sales. So in 2015, we have a total sale of about 5,752,4.94. Okay, so we have solved that question. Now we're going to get to another question. Now we're going to find the total sales for 2016. For 2016, so we'll do the same thing we did here. Select. So we can just copy. We just copy from the other one. And then we paste. Now we are going to change 2015 to 2016. Notice that in 2015, you have a sale of about 5 million. So let's see what we got in 2016. Okay, so in 2016, the company made over 12,864,917.92. So the company made more sales in 2016 than 2015. Okay, so now we can now move to the next question. What is the total amount of sales in the month of April in 2015? Let's try to solve that problem. What is, okay, let's make it as a comment here. What is the total amount of sales in the month of April in 2015? So how do we solve this problem? Let's say select date part as the date function, bracket open, here occurred as bracket open, we name it as year minus date part bracket open month, because now we are looking for the total amount of sales in a month of April. So that is why we are going to include month column. Called as, we call it that column month minus or comma, sorry. We have sum, the aggregate function, because we are looking for the total amount of sales. So we use an aggregate function, sum, then total amount used and then we rename it as total sales from which table? Orders table. Where exactly do you want this information to come from? Where date part or date function here, we want it to go to the year 2015 and bring out this information for us. It's equal to 2015, and and we want it to go directly to the month of April. So we do month occurred is equal to which month? The month is April. So we use the number 4 as April. So April is number 4. Then we group it by that part year. And that part. So we are going to run it. We are going to run our code now and see what we got. Okay, it's showing us red underlined red here. So we made an error. So I didn't put R or code at. Okay, let's run it and see what we got. Okay, so we can now see that in the year 2015, in the month of April, the company made over 451,753.57. So that is how we get the total number of sales in the month of April in 2015. So let's go to another question. Okay, that's the question we solved. Okay, now look at another question here. We have the company is going through a difficult time since January this year, and they've decided to use the available records in our database, which is called Patch and Policy databases, in making several business decisions. Now, number one, the company is struggling to meet their monthly sales target. Assuming their target each month was 15,000 USD. That's number one question. Number two is, okay, number one is the company is struggling to meet their monthly sales target. Assuming their target each month was 15,000 USD, write a query to show us the company monthly total sales for the most recent fiscal year, that's the financial year, on every web event. So to answer that question, we are going to introduce a CTE in this problem. CTE is common term expression. So first of all, let's say select sum, that's aggregate function, total amount USD, and we close the bracket. We call it that column total sales. We are going to use date trunk instead of date part because we want to see the month, the day, and the time. Date part will only give you the year, but date trunk is going to give you the year, the month, the day, and even the time. So we say date trunk bracket open the W or code hat. Now, if you notice in the other problem, I used only a code hat. That code hat that I used was for other stable, but in this question, we are going to be working on web events. So that is why we have W here in front. That means there's an accord at, if you look at our tables, in our orders table, we have a accord at, and if you also look at our web event table, we also have an accord at. So I've specified in this particular this answer that we are looking for an accord at that is in a web event table. So let's continue. We call that column day. Now we use date name for month. So instead of us using the year, the date part for year, we can also use date name. Now this date name will bring us the name of the month, like January, February, March. That is why I'm using date name instead of date part. We name that column as months. From others. Now, because we have introduced more than, in this question, we are going to look at more than one table. We are going to look at the orders table, and we are going to look at the account tables, and we are going to look at the web event table. So we are going to join these three tables in this particular problem. So we say from orders, we join web events. We name that web event as W. That's the alias. We join web event on orders table dot account ID. That's the column. That's a column. Account ID is a column in orders table. We join it with the web event. So we say web event W, the layers that we rename over here in web event, and account ID. We enter. Where do you want this information to come from? W or called as between what year? It said a financial year. If you look at the question here, it said they asked us write a query to show us the company monthly total sale for the most recent fiscal year. So we are looking for the monthly sale for 1 year. So that is why we are going to be using from between 2015 December 31. So 31st December 2015, we have to close. We make it this a string, and between 31st December 2015 to 2016 December and the date 31, we close the string, and we are going to group this column by date chunk, what we have here. Let's copy it instead of typing it. We replace there. So that's it. So now we are going to, because before we started, I said we are going to use the CTE here. So we now say with T1 as we now say, but first of all, let's see how this table is. Let's run this other one before we can draw and create more tables from here. See what we got. See what's the problem? It's giving us incorrect syntax near occurred at. So let's see what's the problem that we have there. Okay, I typed 2O instead of 1. Okay, then C. Let's go again. This one. Now, okay, so look at the table here. So we have a total sale in 2016 in the month of April, day number 1. So we have a list of them from 1 to, we have from 31st December 2015 to 31st December 2016. These are the information. So now we now go back to our code. We now say select from that table. This is a table on its own. So from this table that we have just run, we are going to say select the sum, that's the aggregate function total sales, name it, we will name it total sales. You can choose to use an uppercase or a lowercase. Your code will still run from T1. Now this table, now I've renamed this table that I just ran now, this table that we have the output here, I rename it as T1. So now I'm trying to bring out information, the total sales and the month from this table that I just created now from T1. So this table has been renamed called T1. So I'm querying this table called T1 from T1. Then we group that table by month, and we order it by month. We order is a function, group by is a function. We order by month, and we want to say that this information should start from the largest to the smallest value. That is the largest total sales to the smallest total sales. So we now say descending. We use a function called descending, and then we run our code. Now here is our code, and it has run. So we have a total sales, and we have the months here. So in the month of September, we had about 36,580,741 for the month of October, and we have in November. For all the months for that fiscal year, we now have the total amount of the product sold for the month. So now let's go to number 2 question. Let's solve number 2 question. It said, number 2 says, the company feels that one or two regions, now we'll be looking at the regions table. The company feels that one or two region is not doing well in their monthly sales in the 10 most recent months. Now write a query to demonstrate the 10 most recent monthly sales of the company by regions. So here's the code on how to bring out those data. We are still going to use CTE, but first of all, let's write our table first. Select r dot name, that is the region name. It is a column in the table called region, the region name. And we use an aggregate function, total amount USD, and we call it total sales. Comma, date wrong. We talked about what date wrong means. It's a date function that will bring the day, the month, and the year. For date part, we only give you the day, the year. Called at, we name it dates. Name that column dates. Use another function, another date function called date name to give you the name of that month. We call that column month name. And then from our table orders, we'll rename that orders as O. So we are going to be using O later on. So we join orders, from orders, join the table account, because we'll need information for account. We join the account table. We rename that account as A. We join account on account with ID, a column in account called ID. Orders with a column in orders called account. Here we have account ID. We also join another table called the sales rep, because we want to get the sales rep informations. We join sales rep and we rename it as S. So we'll be using S instead of sales rep. We join sales rep at a table on account, sales rep ID. That's a column in an account table that relates to a column in sales rep at a table. We also join region, join region. We call that region R. We join it on sales rep table. There's a column in sales rep table called region ID is equal to the regions table. We join it with a column in regions table that aligns, that is similar to region ID. Now we say where date rank date rank between 2016 March and the day. We make it to be in a string form and 2017, that is January, and the day 2. We close the quotation mark. And we are going to group it by date rank, day, date name, cannot group it by with an aggregate function, can only group it by with a column. That is not an aggregate function. That's the region name. Okay, so now let's run it and see what we got. Seems there's a problem here. Let's fix that problem, or we are going to get an error. Okay, what did it say? Region ID. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, let's use the alias. Okay, I actually rename it, so I didn't use it where I put it. Okay, let's run that code. Okay, now we see it has run. So we have the name, the region name, we have the total sales and the dates and the month. So the Midwest region, they had 5,600 and it was in the month of April. So we have the Northeast region, the Southeast region. But to answer our question, we have to introduce a CTE with T1 as so from this table that we have here, we are going to bring out the total sales and the month. We need just the total sales and the month. So we said select the aggregate function total sales you must use exactly the way it was renamed here. Without that, you have an error because you are trying to query the table, this table that you have already created, total cells, okay? So we close the bracket. We can rename it here the way you want it again. Want it to bring the month information. Now from where? From this table that we have created, T1. Oh, I mistakenly click on something. Oh, let's see. Sorry, let's go back, okay? All right. From T1, let's group by months, and then order the table by months. So to start with, or group by month, and then order by month. So let's run and see what we got. Let's execute. Okay, it's giving us an error here. Let's see what we didn't do well. Invalid column name month. Order by month. The column name that we created was let's see. Okay. Mm, let's see what we got. Okay, still giving us problem here. Let's try to fix it. Let's try to run it again. Should run. Hi, still giving us error. Let's run this other table and see the column. Okay, we have a column called month name. Okay, let's use month name instead. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's it. So we actually used the wrong name. Instead of a month name, we use month. So our original, the first column that we created, we carries the month name. So we are trying to form another table. We need to use the first name that we use, not month. We use month name. So now we can now see in the month of September, we had a sale of about 1 million. We have about 1,206,399. Then in October, we have a sale of 1,300 and something. Okay, so if we want to start by ascending, make it to be in ascending order. That is from top down. See what we are going to get. Okay. See from small to the largest amount. So this is the least amount of cells that they had. So in April, they had the least amount of 765, and then September, they made a lot of money in September. They made over 1,206,399.93. So that is it. Let's look at another question. See what we got. Now we got another question here. Find the sum of sales for quarter one of 2014 and the count of the entire quarter one sales. Now, if you try to understand this question, you will see that in a year we have 4 quarters. The 4 quarters can be from January, February, March, April. That's the first quarter. And the next quarter begins. We have up to 4 quarters, but we are going to look at the first quarter, the total number of sales for the first quarter, and we are going to count. The sum of the sale is different from count. Okay, we find the total amount of money that they made for that product, and we are going to look at the count of each sale that they made. Okay, to solve this problem, we first of all solve for the sum of sales. So we write a code that will bring us this information from our database. So we say select from that aggregate function, total amount USD. We name it as total. Okay, we didn't close our bracket. We name it as total sales. Date pass, that's our date function here, occurred as, name it as year. Now, since we are considering the quarter, we are going to use the date pass function with quarter, that's Q, means quarter. We rename it as quarterly, or you can say quarter. Let's keep it as, okay. The quarter itself is a function, so let's just keep as quarterly. We're just renaming it that column. Then we need this information to come from our orders table. Now, where exactly in our orders table? What's that? Where we need information here to come from the year 2014. And we want the information to come from the first quarter, which is 1, that is the first quarter. Okay, shown as red line. Okay, we didn't put comma. Okay, that's all. And we're going to group this by this. We're going to group by this. We're now going to include the aggregate function. We're going to paste it here, group by and then we'll see what we got. Let's run it. F5. Yes, now we can see now in the first quarter of the year 2014, we had 977,373.93 sales. So the company made that amount in the first quarter. That is between January to April, they made this total sales. So now let's find out the count of the sales they made. How many people came to buy? How many people paid money? Let's write the code that will give us that. So in this particular question, we will not use sum. Sum is an aggregate function. Count is also an aggregate function. So for this question, we're looking for count. So we use count, and we say total, a count of the total amount USD. We call that column count of entire sales. We are renaming that column. Third part. Year of the year. Quarter. From our orders table. Where exactly do you want the information? Where did parts? Is equal to 2014. We need information from 2014, and we also need it to come from, let's copy this and paste here instead of typing. We change the year, so we're looking for quarter, to the first quarter, and we change this thing to quarter, y to quarter, and then we're going to group this information. We're grouping it group by with this. Let's clean the layer. Let's delete the alias. Don't need them. So we are done. So let's run and see what we got. Here's the here's our output. So we can now see in the first quarter of the year 2014, we have a total count of sales, which is 316. So they made a sales total count of it 316 for that year 2014. Okay, so now we're going to get to the next questions. And this particular question is coming from partition by. In partition problem, we are going to let's move straight to partition by problem. So we can now see that our partition by this divides the rows or query results sets into small partition, and we are going to order by means this arranges the rows in ascending or descending orders for the partition window. Okay, so let's solve some problem and we'll get to understand a partition problem, what it's like. So we have a question here. Find the sum of sales for every first day and last month in 2016. Okay, first day and last month of 2016, and also find the sum of sales for every last days. Okay, that's not it. That's a mistake. We clean that away. So the question stops here. We have find the sum of sales for every first days and last month in 2016. So in 2016, the first day of every month, we are going to get the sum of sales, and we also get the sum of sales for every last month. So we are going to be looking for the first January. For example, the month of January, we'll be looking at the total amount of sales that they made in the first day of January, and we also look at the sum of sales that they made in the last day in the month of January, and also look at the first day in the month of February and the last day in the month of February till we reach December, all in the year of 2016. So we are going to solve that problem now. It's a partition by problem. I want you to pay attention as I'm going to go through some coding here. Okay, so we are going to introduce a CTE here, like we did in other problem. But first of all, let's create our table. So we say select here occurred at, we call it here date name function. Looking at the month, rename it as months. Create another column called months. Say we call it month number. That is, this other one is month. This one is called month number. No is a function, so if we might have a problem when running. So instead of using month number, let's use an underscore here. Without that, we are going to have an error. We have day, we call that column days, and then we're looking for total amount USD as a column. Then we enter. Let's bring it to this other side, and then we create a rows. We use a function called row number. In a partition problem, you will introduce a row number function clause. So we have that a clause, over clause, a row number over clause, and we have a partition. partition it by test path. The month. Want to create a partition. So test path here are called at called at okay. We will order this column by date part month. Let's just copy here. Okay, we'll order it by called at instead. Call at then descending. Close that bracket and we rename that column as row number descending. Okay, so we create another rows for the last day. That's for the first day. So row number bracket open and closes. Over clause partition by this. Everything we have here. Okay, we're going to change that. And then this one will be in ascending order. That's the last day will be in ascending, while the first day is in descending. Close the bracket. I will rename it as row number ascending. Okay. So from where? From our orders level, where year in the year we're looking for the year 2016. 2016. Let's see how our table is. What's the problem? Row number, incorrect syntax near row number. Let's see where we're having issues. Let's see. This could be a problem. What could be the problem here? Okay. We supposed to put T, we wrote R. Okay. What's the other problem? Code or called as total amount. Let's put it in aggregate function. Let's see what could be the problem. Still a problem. I'm gonna fix that problem. Problem is around here. Let me see. Row number. Okay, let's try again. It's still giving us an error. We'll go to the next question, then we'll come back again. Okay, so let's go to the next question. We're going to fix that. So now there's the next question. The company wants to appreciate all their sales rep that made sales above their target, assuming their target was 200,000 in 2016. Produce a table to showcase the qualified sales rep and congratulate them while encouraging others to speak up. Now, this is a case statement problem. So the company wants to appreciate all the sales reps that made sales above their target. Their target was 200,000. So they want to appreciate all their sales reps. Okay, so now they said produce a table to showcase the qualified sales rep and congratulate them while encouraging others to sit up. So to do that, we are going to write a code. Our code select sales rep we have here under a sales rep name, comma, the aggregate function, total amount USD. We call it total sales from orders from our orders table. And then we're going to join the others account with the account. We also joined it with our sales group account. So we're going to join these three tables to be able to solve this particular question. So from orders, we are going to join it with our account table. So from orders, join account on orders dot account. In the orders table, we have an account called account ID. So we have it here. Account ID is equal to the account table, and there's a column in account table that is called ID and it's related to account ID. This is a column in orders and is related to a column in account called ID. So we are joining the orders and the account table. And then we also join the sales rep table. We join the sales rep table with our account table. And in our account table, we have a column called sales rep ID. It's called sales rep ID, and it's similar and related to a column in sales rep table called ID. And we are going to group by sales rep name. We group it by sales rep name. Sales rep name. Okay, so let's run and see what we got. It's the first. Okay, now we have seen we have been able to create a table that has the sales rep name and the total amount that they made. So you can see that Cliff, so we can see that the Cliff means made a total sale of 556,000, and we have Neko Victory. So let's see how we can start from the sales rep name that made the largest sale. So let's put the descending and see what we're going to have. Okay, that's an error. Okay. Okay, let's say order by sales rep name. Mm, okay, so we have now seen that we have now ordered by sales rep name, and we have Benita Bloom, which made a sale of 934,212.93. We have Tia Manto, which made a sale of 1,010,690. So to answer our question, this is a list of the sales rep name and the total amount that they made. But to answer this question, we want to congratulate those sales reps that made a total sale of 200,000. So once you pass the limit of 200,000, we congratulate you. Okay, so we are going to write a code now that will congratulate those that have made this target of their company. Okay, so we'll say select sum total amount USD, total sales, we now say case. You want to create a case. This is a case statement. Case when sum, which is the total sales, total amount USD, when total amount USD is greater than or is equal to 200,000. thousand. Then I want them to be congratulated. Then congratulations. Else, else, else sit up. If they don't meet the target, then sit up or be fired. Okay, sit up or be fired. Okay, then we're going to end the remark. End remark. Now from orders table, then from all in this question, we are going to join both the orders and the account table, and we also join the sales rep table together. These three tables will be joined together in order to get the answers that we are looking for. So from orders, we say join accounts on orders dot account dot sales account dot join orders, join account on orders, sorry, orders dot a column in orders account ID is equal to our account table, then a column in account. So we also join our sales rep join our sales rep table on account table is equal to our sales rep table, and we join it to a column that is similar in account table. Sorry, sales rep ID. Okay, then where are we searching for? Where year occurred at is equal to 2016. Am I right? 2016. Okay. And we're going to group this information by sales rep, sales rep name, and we'll order by the remark. Order by remark. Make it ascending order. Okay, So let's see. Let's run and code and see what we got. Okay. Okay. What do we have here as an error? Okay. We order by remark. It said incorrect syntax. May increase the font size. Incorrect syntax near ascending order. Okay. Mhm. Okay. I made a mistake. Source web name. Okay. Account ID. Account ID, not accounts. Okay. Now the red line has gone out. Okay. Let's run it again and see what we got. Okay. Still have an error. Okay. We have an underscore here just in front of ascending order. Okay. Let's fix that. I think it should run. Okay, now that's our code now. So we can now see our sales rep name that made this target, and we have the first person, Mitchell Woodford, which made about 251,211. So she has made a total sum of this amount that is above the 200,000. So the remark here shows congratulations. So if we scroll down, we'll see Bebete Sukop, who made a total sales of 171,000. She did not meet the target. So we gave her a remark of sit up or be fired. So this is the list. So if you want to write a code that will make those that had a remark called sit up to come first. So you come here and just change this ascending order, make it descending, and you run it again. Uh, Control Z. That's it. So those that have sit up from the bottom, we now have them on top. If you scroll down, we have those that made the target. Yeah, congratulations. So guys, I've come to the end of my video. I will definitely solve the other problem. I'll try and see what's an issue there. I'll try and solve it, and in my next video, I'll try to do justice to it. Thank you for joining this session.